Some things are impossible to miss, like an elephant in the room, or a bull in a china shop, or this season's amazing offers, brought to you by PayPal. Discover offers from hundreds of brands like Viator, Allbirds, and Tory Burch right in the PayPal app. Save an offer before you check out with PayPal and earn unlimited rewards. Download the PayPal app to get started. Terms and exclusions apply. See paypal.com/rewards terms.
Expedia and Visit Scotland invite you to come experience the beauty that awaits in Scotland. The sweep of wild coastlines, quiet lochs, and untamed landscapes. Fresh cuisine that feels rooted in the land. Come experience the kind of stillness that stays with you long after you leave. Plan your Scottish escape today at expedia.com/Visit Scotland.
This is a Bose moment. You've been there before. Somebody's apartment, small talk that's going nowhere, plastic cup that's almost empty. It's not great. Then someone hits play on a Bose speaker. Heads nod, feet tap, one person dances, then everyone does. Awkward becomes electric. When Bose sound fills the room, you don't just hear the music, you feel it. Your life deserves music. Your music deserves Bose. Find your perfect product at Bose.com.
Hey, I'm JJ Virgin, PhD dropout, sorry mom, turned 4-time New York Times bestselling author. As a certified nutrition specialist, fitness Hall of Famer, and globally recognized leader in health, I'm driven to keep asking the tough questions and use my podcast to simplify the science of health into actionable strategies that help you thrive. Want an ad-free experience? You can now subscribe to my exclusive VIP podcast at subscribetojj.com for just $4.99 a month or $49.99 a year. It's like your daily latte, but better for your health. I'd also love to hear your thoughts on the show. And here's the fun part. When you send me your review, I'll reply to you using my on-demand virtual me. That's right, my team and I created a virtual JJ packed with my books, speeches, and wisdom so I can personally connect with you. Here's how you do it. Subscribe and leave an honest review of the podcast. Take a screenshot of your review. Text it to 813-565-2627. That's 813-565-2627. My virtual JJ will reply directly. And trust me, this will make your day. So subscribe now at subscribetojj.com and text me your review. Let's keep thriving together.
When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
What is up with all of these viral health trends on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere? How do you know which ones to do, which ones are hype, and which ones you should double down on? I'm going to go through my top 10. First up, apple cider vinegar. Hype or not hype? Here's the reality. Not hype. I think apple cider vinegar is one of the great things that we can easily add in. Doesn't cost much, pretty inexpensive. I like when you get one like Bragg, so get an organic apple cider vinegar. And be careful with this. You don't want to be like chugging shots of it because it can be problematic for your tooth enamel. But what I like to do is take my Peak Life green tea, throw a little apple cider vinegar in that, drink it through a straw, have it before a meal. It can help lower the blood sugar response to the meal. It can also soothe digestion. So 2 bonus points there. So apple cider vinegar, yes, it's worth the hype. All right, let's move on to dry fasting. What is dry fasting? First off, dry fasting means that you're not only not eating, you're also not drinking. So you are doing nothing, no fluid intake, no food intake. I don't know about you, but that sounds miserable. I am not a fan of dry fasting. I don't think it makes sense to do anything that can cause dehydration. We know that even mild dehydration, I learned this from Dr. Rick Johnson of Nature Wants Us to Be Fat, that mild dehydration causes you to release glycogen from your liver, convert it over to fructose, and store it as fat. So I'm sorry, doing fasting to store more fat, yeah, that's a hard pass. I think if you are going to do some fasting or intermittent fasting, at least make sure that you're getting in some really good hydration, and I would say add some electrolytes in for the win. Next up, organ meats. All right, I know this kind of sparks fear in my heart with the organ meats. Like, is this something that could be great for our health? I still think back to when I was a kid. I was 16 years old and I went to London with a friend's family, and we sat down to eat, and one of the people was having steak and kidney pie, and she asked me to have a bite of the steak, and what she'd done is tricked me, and there was a kidney in there. And I have not eaten organ meat since. It was so icky, the texture of it, that like I have PTSD, organ meat PTSD. But here's the reality. They're amazing for you. So I've been looking for ways to eat them. Now, the reality is, think about it. If you are eating liver, it's a filtering organ. So you want to make sure that you're getting very clean organ meats. But I have a better way to do this, that you'll get all of the benefits of organ meats. The deal with organ meats is they are so nutrient dense with micronutrients that it's amazing. So here's what I do. I use something called Pluck. And it is this cool chef, James Berry, who's on a mission to get people eating organ meats, but he doesn't like them either. And so he made this organ meat seasoning. It sounds absolutely disgusting, I know, and it is amazingly delicious. So I use this organ meat seasoning in my stir-fried vegetables. I use it on my roasted vegetables. I use it on my air-fried chicken thighs. It's amazing. So we'll put a link for that in the show notes, but that's my big take on organ meats. Is I've been getting it in almost every day now because I've been getting in the seasoning, which is made from organs. So thank you, Chef James, on that one. What about chlorophyll water? So now they're having people drink chlorophyll water for a couple things. The claims are that it helps with skin, it helps with reducing your body odor, it helps with detoxification. Does it really do any of this stuff? The evidence is pretty weak on the skin stuff. I mean, it might be that you're just drinking more water. The evidence is kind of weak on the detox. The evidence is not there so much on the odor, although it used to be used historically to help with stinky wounds. Yep. But modern nowadays, no. So this is one I would say, Now, that doesn't mean to say that there's not some benefits to chlorophyll. Eat a lot of green plants. If you want to get a bigger dose of it, Energy Bits, Catherine Arnston's created these chlorophyll algae bits. So that would be a way to do it. But I think just drinking chlorophyll water is probably the best part of doing that, is that you're drinking more water, which is always a good thing. Next up, Ozempic, off-label for weight loss. Okay, so first of all, when I think of using Ozempic, Mounjaro, tirzepatide, semaglutide, any of these GLP-1 agonists or dual agonists, what I really love about them is what they do to heal your metabolism, to rejuvenate and regenerate. When you look at what happens when you take these GLP-1s, they improve insulin sensitivity, they reduce inflammation. So they've got a lot of benefits that can help heal a lot of the damage that you tend to see in people who have got obesity and poor metabolic health. So that's what I look at them for. I worry about using them for weight loss specifically, like focusing on that, because we can't focus just on weight. We need to focus on what the weight's made up of. I think that if we use GLP-1s to heal the metabolism, restore insulin sensitivity, reduce inflammation, and take away a little of the food noise, but not give such high a dose that you just destroy someone's appetite, that it will allow people to start healing, moving, eating more protein, and doing resistance training so that they can restore their body composition and improve their metabolic health. That's how I like to see them done, which means we really got to figure out a way to use them, which is where the compounding pharmacists come in, where you can dose it based on the minimal effective dose to create those things, not some standard high dose that shuts off your appetite, which causes you to lose muscle and create a lot of damage. Castor oil packs. All right, so I have a friend, Dr. Marisol, who is obsessed with castor oil, and that's how I got turned on to castor oil years ago. And I remember she's created these beautiful, she's called the Queen of Thrones, and she has this really cool pack that she's made for castor oil. And she's like, try this. And you know, what's castor oil known for? It's known to help with detoxification, inflammation, constipation, and bloating. Those are the things they say it could help with. Does it really? All right, N of 1 and TMI, I'm going to tell you. I tried this castor oil pack, totally helped solve some constipation issues. So I would say that yes, it could. We just had a female founders retreat and everybody ended up with their castor oil packs on late at night. This is the weird things that happen on these things. And, you know, people noticed that reduced inflammation, that better, bowel movements. So those are anecdotal. There's no real clinical proof of like liver detox support. There's nothing showing that. There is some chance that it could help reduce some local inflammation and could help with some constipation and bloating. And, maybe it helps with making you a little bit de-stressed. My advice is this is an inexpensive therapy that couldn't hurt. It's been around forever. I used it after my hysterectomy. If you've got any of that stuff, I think it's worth giving a shot. But is there great science on it? Nah. I haven't seen great science on it, but shout out to my girlfriend, Dr. Marisol. We'll link to her because she's got some great information on it. And I think that maybe it can help with bloating and cramps and relaxation. So if you've got those issues, give it a shot and try hers because she's got a really nice pack that you can wear that's makes it easy to distribute. She's also got stuff for your eyebrows and lashes and eyes as well so that you can use it there too. Now, again, don't know if there's any science to support that, but it's not going to hurt, that's for sure. How about face taping at night? Now, I'm not talking about mouth taping for sleeping. I'm talking about face taping to avoid wrinkles. Boy, I really wish this worked. Really do. It turns out that for the smoothing and getting rid of wrinkles, it works when you've got yourself taped up, but you take the tape off and probably not, and maybe you're just going to get, your skin irritated by doing that. So could be working right before an event, but it's not going to give you, it's kind of a temporary fix. So sadly, I think that Botox is still on the table for me. All right, what about butter and coffee? Shout out to my buddy and brother from another mother, Dave Asprey, who started the whole craze of MCT oil and butter and coffee. So what about that? Is it a metabolism hack? What is it? Or is it just a lot of calories? Now, full disclosure, I've had it made by Dave himself. If he's making it for me, I like it really light, like a big dose of butter and MCT oil, and it does not land well with me. I think that it could have a great place for someone who is doing some fasting to get the MCT oils, because MCT is a very interesting fat. It's very easy to burn, so it's very great energy and creates ketones that go to your brain. So there is some, is some potential help there. But the other thing I think we have to be careful about is how much we're actually getting in. How much we're getting in. Now, of course, those MCTs can help your brain, right? But are you now overloading on all your fat by doing it? So that's what I think you need to check in on, because you could easily throw in 500 calories of fat in your coffee and it all counts. And we tend to not count the things we drink, but it could be an interesting little thing to add before you go to the gym in the morning if you're working out fast and you want to hit. And we know caffeine's an amazing ergogenic aid. See how it works for you. And then what about red light face masks? Red light face masks are being touted to help with reducing inflammation, to help with collagen production. First of all, I love red lights in general. Years ago, Juve brought me over a big red light panel to the house. So I've been using a lot of red light to heal my old foot injury, to heal anytime we've had any kind of injuries or surgeries or anything else. We use red light to help reduce inflammation, help heal. And I have a red light mask that I use. So I think from what I can tell on the research so far, they do definitely seem to boost collagen and reduce inflammation. Now, is it going to be like night and day amazing, like a facelift? No, but every little bit helps. I can tell you, like, you get to be 40 plus, every little bit helps. And this seems to make a bunch of difference in reducing fine lines, reducing inflammation, improving collagen production. So make sure you get a good one. All red lights are not created equal. You want to do them a couple times a week. So super important for a couple minutes. It doesn't take long, couple minutes, couple times a week. I'm even using them right now. My amazing neuro-ophthalmologist, Dr. Ronnie Bonnick, has me doing it for macular degeneration to avoid it, not having it. I have a red light that I do 3 minutes a week for my eyes. So I think there's a lot of application here, but just make sure you're getting a quality red light. Now, some of the ones that I do have a Sunlighten red light handheld, and I have a little Juve block. And I know there's a couple other companies that do professional grade red lights. That's what I would be looking for. Don't think you can buy one for $50 online. That's going to do ya. Get the good high quality ones, invest in it, because you're going to be using this for a long, long time. And the final one, charcoal detox drinks. I had some tests done with Vibrant a couple months ago. They're like, hey, we're going to send you some tests because I'm speaking at their event. And I went, cool. I'll take a total tox test and a GI test. And so I did all these tests. Thank God I did. It just turned out that our cold plunge had leaked and caused black mold in our recovery room, which is kind of, our recovery room has black mold in it. The way we discovered it was through my total toxic burden and seeing the mold. And I'm like, well, shoot. So we've been remediating the mold, but now I have mold in me. So what have I been doing? I've been getting in my sunlight and sauna, and I've been taking charcoal binders before I get into the sauna. What I would look at is charcoal has been something that people will use, say, after drinking, to help pull out toxins. Medical settings, if someone's had toxins, they'll use activated charcoal there. I think that charcoal binders can be a useful thing done correctly. You need to be careful with these things. So I would like to see that you're working with a healthcare practitioner for them and you know why you're doing them. For example, you don't take them when you're taking your supplements or taking your medications, because guess what they'll do? They'll bind to those too. So you have to be super careful about when you take them, and they can be helpful. They can be helpful if you need to detoxify something quickly. They can be helpful if you've got something like toxic mold you're working on getting rid of. But again, I'd love to see you working with a healthcare practitioner when you're doing that, to guide you correctly and to retest you and reassess on that. So looking at these top 10, here's what I'd love to know from you. What stands out to you that you would love to try from all the different ones that I talked about? Or maybe there's one that you were going to try and you're like, oh yeah, no. Or you've been doing it, you're like, yeah, I didn't see anything with that. Love to hear from you, see which ones that you love. And before you just jump on a trend, here's what I'd highly recommend. On ChatGPT, there is a couple of different chats that you can look at. And one of them is consensus, where you can find out what the research really says based on, what's the consensus research on something. So it'll give you the take on it. The other thing you can do is think about the experts that you really like to follow who are science-based. I'll give you a couple who I think are amazing. I really love Dr. Rhonda Patrick, Dr. Andrew Huberman, Dr. Andy Galpin, Dr. Bill Campbell, Dr. Gabrielle Lyon, Dr. Sarah Gottfried, thinking about some of my others, Cynthia Thurlow, Sean Stevenson, Alan Aragon. So think about some of the different experts that you like. And you can also just, as you're doing your research out there, look on their sites and see what they have to say about these things as well. But I really love to go to chat, throw it into consensus and say, all right, apple cider vinegar, is there research to support the use of this? What are the benefits? Are there any risks? I'd say before you just take someone's word for it, really look at what the evidence is. And I heard Dr. Andy Galpin talking about this the other day, and I thought that is a very intelligent way to explain this. And it was, some people have to have all the research, all the double-blind placebo-controlled studies, randomized trials, blah, blah, blah. Some people have to go, oh, my friend took it and it worked. And then there's all the way in between. There's a spectrum. I tend to fall in the middle of that. I need to know what the mechanism of action would be. Have any studies been done on this? But I don't have to have 12 randomized, random control, double-blind, placebo-controlled studies for it. I just need to understand, how could this work? Like, I understand with apple cider vinegar how that could work to lower blood sugar. And then, has there been any studies on it? That's where I like to see. So see where your comfort level is with it, your risk-reward ratio with it, and then give those a try. And again, I'd love to hear which one you're thinking of giving a try to. And make sure to, while you're here, because it helps a ton, to subscribe to the channel so I can continue to bring you great information. And also, if you haven't jumped on over to my Facebook group yet, I've got JJ Virgin Lifestyle Community, and I like to go in there every week or so and answer your questions live. So be sure to jump on there as well, and I will see you over in the Facebook group. Be sure to join me next time for more tools, tips, and techniques you can use to look and feel your best and be built to last. Would you prefer an ad-free experience? Join my VIP podcast at subscribetojj.com for just $4.99 a month or $49.99 a year to unlock uninterrupted ad-free access to all the episodes and insights you love. Also, I'd love to connect with you and hear your thoughts on the podcast. Here's how. First, subscribe to the podcast and leave an honest review. Second, take a screenshot of your review. And third, text it to 813-565-2627. That's 813-565-2627. When you do, I'll reply using my brand new Virtual JJ. It's my on-demand virtual self built from my books, talks, and years of experience so I can interact with you directly. You'll make my day, and I can't wait to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Hey, JJ here, and just a reminder that the Well Beyond 40 podcast offers health, wellness, fitness, and nutritional information that's designed for educational and entertainment purposes only. You should not rely on this information as a substitute for, nor does it replace professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you have any concerns or questions about your health, you should always consult with a physician or other healthcare professional. Make sure that you do not disregard, avoid, or delay obtaining medical or health-related advice from your healthcare professional because of something you may have heard on the show or read in our show notes. The use of any information provided on this show is solely at your own risk.